Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, here today to another edition of NASCAR Heat 5 on the channel. We've got another full race live stream for you guys with a realistic broadcast on a Sunday, late Sunday morning into early afternoon. The Brickyard 400, another Crown Jewel event on the season. It is the third Crown Jewel race of the year, as we have just 7 races before the NASCAR Cup Series playoffs. And Ryan Blaney bounced back after a tough last place finish after DNFing in the last 20 laps of yesterday's second Pocono doubleheader race. As well, Blaney got the win in the first Pocono doubleheader race. Has a 55-point lead in the point standings, so almost one race, but not quite over Denny Hamlin coming into this race. We'll see how all of that will come to fruition. Qualifying is about to begin, and then we will hop into the race. No practice for today's race. First of 2 races of a doubleheader Sunday as well. Again, the Xfinity race at the Indianapolis Road Course will be immediately after this. Using the controller for both races here today, both at the road course for Indy and the oval configuration. Called 48, welcome to the stream. Off the turn 4 here on the warm-up lap. This will be the lap that counts. Just one lap and quick qualifying here for Ryan Blaney. Into turn 1, trying to use the brakes perfectly. Blaney overruns turn 1, had to lift just a hair. Kind of arced it in at a bad angle. To turn 1, turn 2, pretty good. Not perfect though. Riggs football team, welcome to the stream. Ethan, welcome as well. Well, it's early if you're on the West Coast. That I would understand. On the East, this 11 o'clock in the morning is not early by my standards. So at the start-finish line, turns 3 and 4, a little bit better for Blaney. Lap time will be a 52.161. Pole time is a 51.077. 13th on the board for the 12 team. Not a bad qualifying effort. Just outside the top 12. Alex Bowman will be on the pole for today's race. Brad Keselowski will be starting outside pole in second. Some Blaney crashes in there. Well, at least it's just a video game, so. Unless you're doing crash compilations for actual NASCAR races, then. Eleven's early. Yeah, 11's just not. I'm more of a morning person, so yeah, no, 11 is not really at all. I mean, by the time this race is going to end, it's going to be like 1 o'clock, 1:30, so. It's not too early. I mean, just think, like NASCAR used to start races right at noon. Indy 500 starts at noon every year, so. It's only an hour difference. So Bowman will lead the field to the green, the 88 car on the pole. BJ McLeod looks like he's going to be fast for today's race, looking for another good day. He was great in the first Pocono doubleheader race yesterday. Ran in the 6th position at the end of that race. Nobody dropping to the rear for the start of this one as well. Here we go, green flag in the air, and the Brickyard 400 is underway. The final Brickyard 400 on the oval configuration is underway. At least for the foreseeable future. Of course, Cup Series running the road course next year for the Brickyard 400. But we'll see if this might be the last ever race on the oval. Obviously for NASCAR Heat 5. The older games will still be running the Brickyard 400 on the oval. That would be about it. Good initial start here for Ryan Blaney. Going to get inside the top 10 on lap 1. So hard to run the outside here. Pretty much just a one groove racetrack. Things bunched together though on the restart. Blaney slides up. Here comes Elliott to the bottom. 3 wide off at turn 4. Chase Elliott on the bottom of the racetrack. Matt Kenseth on the top in the 42. Blaney trying to get her on. Kenseth starts to fade back behind Kevin Harvick. You can see the straightaway speed in the 12 cars. He's able to beat the 4 and the 9 into turn 1. Elliott, though, back to the inside of Blaney again. And Blaney's just going to let Elliott go so he can hop back down to the bottom behind him. Matt Kenseth trying to make a pass on Kevin Harvick for 10th. Still a lot of side-by-side racing up here. And Alex Bowman was able to lead lap 1. Blaney with a big run into turn 3, all the way to the bottom of the track. Drove it in deep. Couldn't quite clear the 2 car of Brad Keselowski. Kenseth, Truex, or I should say Harvick and Truex side by side still for 10th. Tim Irvin, welcome to the stream. There's so much straightaway speed in this 12 car. He's getting a good run in the draft, just like Pocono. Very long straightaways, same length of racetrack, 2.5 miles as well. Martin Truex Jr. has moved up to 9th. So Truex qualified outside the top 10. He's made some moves on Kenseth, Kurt Busch, Harvick, and now Blaney. Blaney trying to get him right back as Truex was looking to pass Keselowski. But Blaney's going to get right around Truex instead. Not quite going to clear his teammate. Keselowski won this race back in 2018, his only Brickyard 400 victory. Blaney trying to go low, breaking the draft on Truex. He doesn't want Truex to get around him. A 19 car looks fast in the early going of the race. Someone who really looks fast is the car out at the front of the field, and that is Alex Bowman in the 88. Led every lap in the early going. Blaney trying to get around Keselowski. He almost cleared him that time. That was about as close as he's been to clearing him. Couldn't do it. Now he drops to the bottom, trying to break the draft again, making sure Keselowski doesn't side draft him. And Blaney has finally cleared the 2 car. Hamlin trying to stick the outside on Chase Elliott right now. Logano almost took him 3 wide. He's been peeking down low to maybe take it 3 wide. You definitely can't run 3 wide in these corners. We've seen it a couple times already. Luckily, there's been no contact. Luke Addison, welcome to the stream. Tyler Burback, welcome. Fastest lap of the early go to the race for Blaney. Battle for track position at the front. And a battle for the lead. Side by side, Bowman is about to lose it right now. They're still side by side down the back. BJ McLeod has come to race today. And he is challenging Bowman for the lead. Blaney goes 3 wide into turn 3 underneath Elliott and Hamlin. I think Jones is kind of holding these guys up. Oh, a little loose there from the 12 car in contact with the 9 of Elliott. Blaney loses ground. And look at Truex up the middle now between Logano and Blaney. Making some moves. That contact really upset the 12 car. Elliott was able to drive on by. The stages are split 50 laps in stage 1, 50 in stage 2, and 60 in the final stage of the race here today. So, for the most part, they're all pretty even. 400 miles, 160 laps. Got some good battling going on in the field. McLeod has taken the lead away. Led his first lap of the race, that last lap. Remember, biggest point of the season for him was at Phoenix, a race where he didn't have a good finish, but he won a stage, so he knows how to run up front this season, given the good race car and the good equipment. And it's so hard to pass on this racetrack, as you're seeing in the early going here today. He is just driven away from Bowman. Well, kind of. Big run by Truex. He gets around Jones. A little contact with Blaney. Now into the short chute. And Martin Truex Jr. will take over the 6th position. That 19 car looks really fast here. Heat 5 is a good game. Yeah, I mean, it's not the best game in the NASCAR Heat Series. I think NASCAR Heat 4 is a little better just with the gameplay itself. There's a lot of, bugs. Look at how loose the 19 car got in turn 4 there. There's some contact in the short chute between the 12 and the 19 again. So hard to run side by side even in these corners. In fact, we've seen 3 wide already. I think that's mainly because of the downforce in these race cars. Otherwise, I don't think we would have seen that. Blaney going to get around Elliott. Elliott with the crossover in turn 1. I think Truex is going to follow him right through there. Now Blaney maybe looking to make a crossover, but Truex goes low. Maybe trying to block. Blaney kind of stuck behind Elliott and Truex that time. He's going to follow the 19 into turn 3. Trying to get around Chase Elliott that way. And Truex has cleared the 9 of Elliott. Blaney will clear Elliott off of turn 4. Chase just kind of got stuck on the outside there in turns 3 and 4, and he couldn't get down to the bottom. Blaney trying to make the pass on Truex again. The 19 and the 12 have gone back and forth quite a bit already today. And there's Blaney clearing the 1 car, or clearing the 19 going into turn 1. Bowman still battling there with McLeod. He fell behind a couple car lengths, and he is right on the back bumper, looking to go side by side off of turn 2 and down the back straightaway now. So everybody will have to make 1 pit stop in each stage today. You can only go about 40 laps at maximum on a full tank of fuel here at Indy. So with these 50-lap stages, you're likely going to see some guys maybe split the stage in half. We saw that at Pocono in both doubleheader races yesterday with some short pitting that went on from the 12 of Blaney. It worked in race 1. He got the win there. Race 2, not so much, but had other problems that he had to deal with in race 2, obviously, outside of trying to short pit. Thanks for 9 of you guys sticking around in the early going of the race today. Could we have the makings of an upset? PJ McLeod trying to go for that first career win for a self-owned team, nonetheless. Affiliated with Rick Ware Racing. Is that 78 car. I think he's 3 seconds off the lead. I mean, the top 2 absolutely pull away from everybody else. Again, giving Truex and Blaney the track position, I think they can keep up with them. 19 is all over the back of the 11 and the 18 now for 4th and 5th. Saw Eric Jones qualify in the top 10 as well, so all 4 Joe Gibbs Racing Toyotas look pretty fast today. Bowman's still not going away. It's going to be tough to pass the car with the clean air, and I think that's what Bowman is seeing right now. He's probably wondering, how did the 78 get around me? He wasn't even on the restart when he got around him. About 5 or 6 laps after the fact. Fastest lap of the race that last time by for Ryan Blaney. He got a little bit of space. His lap times have definitely quickened. Got a car length gap between the top 2. Bowman's able to keep up with them, especially down these long straightaways at Indianapolis. Drafting is a big part of this racetrack, especially with this package. Blaney trying to get a draft off of Alex Bowman, and he is slightly. Ryan Blaney will be coming for the lead very shortly. One of his better qualifying efforts on an oval this season. Blaney goes into turn 2. Boy, he drove it in hard to get around Bowman. Big run now. Barely makes the exit of the corner. Nearly went full throttle, and that will move on B.J. McLeod for the lead. Blaney out in front at the Brickyard. Lap traffic coming up in about a handful of laps already. Things got very spaced apart quickly. I think you saw that in the early going of both Pocono races yesterday. But as the race went on, and the more restarts we got throughout the course of the race, things seemed to tighten up quite a bit. That was Blaney's fastest lap that last time by, despite making the pass for the lead. Also his first lap he has led in the early going of today's race. You wish editing didn't exist. Yeah, it can be a pain for sure. It's like fun and painful at the same time. That's the way I find it. There's sometimes I wish I had a guy for it. I was like, man, I really need somebody for this. A 1.7 second lead already. McLeod slowly pulling away from Alex Bowman. He's now just over a half second ahead of him. As the tires start to wear out, Bowman's not able to keep as much of a draft on B.J. McLeod. McLeod's pulling away from him, making it even harder for Alex Bowman to keep up. The yellow and purple, is that the Maytag, I'm guessing? Sponsorship? Because if so, I was planning on using that in the next few races. It's the only paint scheme I haven't used yet of his this season. It's kind of saving it for the Southern 500, but I'd like to use it a couple more times beyond that. Yeah, they don't have his Dickies sponsor on here for some reason. That's the only paint scheme I can think of Blaney's that he ran this year that they don't have on this game. He just ran it at Texas a couple weeks ago, too. I believe he ran it that day. Or did he run the Dex imaging car? He might have ran Dex, I'm not sure. Now I think about it. Might have been the first Texas race he used the Dickies paint scheme. I know he's had Dickies on his car a couple times. Oh, man, Ross Chastain, the 77. Just about got in the wall. Went really wide into turn 1. Blaney's kind of caught behind all these guys, and he goes 3 wide to the top. Just barely kept it off the wall. Evasive maneuver there, but he made it through clean. It was a little risky to see in the first stage of the race. He would not have been able to make that work on faster race cars. Luckily, they were back marker cars. 10 times faster than him. Still body armor, just yellow. Oh, I've seen that. Yeah, I think that's like the banana flavored car or something. I believe body armor. They don't have that on this game. I don't remember him running that paint scheme specifically. I didn't know if that was for next year. I don't know why. I don't remember him running that. Yep, next race at the Indy Road Course for the Xfinity Series. The last year of the oval configuration for the foreseeable future, and that is this race today for the Brickyard 400. Most fans nowadays don't necessarily consider the Brickyard 400 a crown jewel, but most drivers, on the other hand, would. Whenever you see a driver go to victory lane here in Indianapolis, even in a NASCAR race, how excited they are to get that win, how much it means to them. Shows why this race is still a crown jewel. McLeod has pulled about a second ahead of Alex Bowman, an 8-second lead already for Ryan Blaney as he's mowing through the lap traffic right now. Caution free up to this point at Indianapolis as we are coming to lap 20 this time by. Stenhouse having a rough run. He was in the top 10 for most of the second Pocono race yesterday. Actually finished in the top 10 in that 10th position. Corey LaJoie also was a surpriser yesterday, finishing 9th. So we had a couple guys in the back half of the top 10 that ran really well. We already mentioned B.J. McLeod ran 6th in the first Pocono race yesterday. Not so great in the second one, finished outside the top 20. McLeod's too far back to make it in on points, so he's likely going to need a win, but he does have 4 top 10s this season, so he has shown speed a couple times, and you just wonder if he can find a way to get just a little bit quicker to compete for a win at the race end. Today could be that day. He is already now about 5 seconds ahead of Alex Bowman. Truex is closing in on Bowman right now for 3rd. Bowman's really fading back as the run gets further and further down the line. So, about halfway through the fuel run. And these guys at maximum can go about 40 laps. It's about a 36 to 40 lap pit window on fuel. Next Cup Series race will be at Kentucky, and that will be tomorrow. 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time will be the start time for the next Cup Series race on NASCAR Heat 5. Again, at Kentucky Speedway for the Quaker State 400. Could be the last race there as well. Caught Custer in a bad spot, but he's got a big lead. Going to take a caution to bunch everybody back up eventually here. We'll have to see if Ryan Blaney's going to short pit like he did at Pocono in yesterday's race, because right now we're almost halfway through stage 1 already. Yeah, it could be the final race at Kentucky as well. We just ran Chicagoland earlier in the week also. Or, no, that was last week. Ran an Xfinity race earlier this week. But Cup Series race. And we had ran last weekend. I like Jeff Gordon at all. I mean, I never, really hated him, I guess. I don't really hate anybody, you know? especially somebody that's really good. I mean, people hated on Johnson for winning 5 straight titles, but you can't. I mean, Jimmy is a likable guy. I mean, he's probably the most humble guy in the garage, one of the most humble guys in the garage over the years. The only reason people didn't like him is because he won all the time. But you see that, you know, with any sport, somebody dominates for so long, they don't like him. I mean, look at Tom Brady in the NFL. Like, Tom Brady, like, he comes off as a genuine, nice guy. A father of a couple kids, got a family. People just don't like him and the Patriots because they... I mean, you can argue, you know, the Patriots side of things, you know, with the possible cheating, but scandals, I should say, over the course of the last couple decades, but haters gonna hate. Jackson Pittner, welcome to the stream. BJ McLeod is in second place, having a career day. Looking for a career finish. I didn't grow up to watch Jeff Gordon in the 90s through his more dominant years, too. Unfortunately, I would have loved to have seen that. But I guess I was able to, you know, grow up watching Jimmy Johnson dominate. So at least I saw somebody, like, take over the sport with some reign of dominance. A lot of drivers going a lap down right now. Blaney is by far the fastest car on the racetrack. Took him about a dozen laps to get to the lead, but once he got there, he's absolutely pulled away. About a 22-second lead. Kenseth's going to go a lap down now. Oh, that was a risky move. Blaney got in the wall up in turn 4 there. Kenseth will get back on the lead lap. Blaney just kind of smacked the wall off of turn 4. He hit it pretty square. 24 laps to go in stage 1. And again, everybody will have to pit at some point in time within this final stage. Just went a little too high in turn 4. A little too aggressive trying to get around Johnson a little quicker. He should have been a lot more patient. You can really see how loose the car is getting, though, as this run carries on. Just past halfway through the stage, though, you might see some short pitting going on soon. The only problem with that is he's got such a big lead and so many guys are a lap down already that if he were to pit, a lot of those drivers would get back on the lead lap versus he could try to trap these guys a lap down and maybe hope for a caution that way. But it has been a clean race up to this point. We do have one driver out of the race, likely blew an engine in the opening laps, but no caution came out for it as they were able to get to pit road unscathed. About half a track lead right now. Kevin Harvick who faded outside the top 10 early. 13th. He's won the last 2 Brickyard 400s with this same package nonetheless. 2019, 2020. Christopher Bell, another run in the top 12. Had a good season. He's had 2 wins already this year as well. One of them being the last Crown Jewel race in the Coca-Cola 600. For those of you that might remember the last time we ran a full Brickyard 400 race on NASCAR Heat 5, and the only time we did it would have been back in Season 1 of the Cup Series, and that was our chase for 8th season with Jimmy Johnson. And that was one heck of a race, let me tell you. We had a lot of battles. There were cautions throughout, so there really wasn't a long run to get things spaced out like you would normally see at Indianapolis. And it came down to the wire. 3 wide, battling for the lead multiple times in the last 20 laps, and it ended up with about a little less than 10 laps to go. Johnson trying to make a 3 wide pass for the lead into turn 3 and spinning out, wrecking the race car, and ended up with a last place finish, unfortunately for him, or at least a finish towards the back after DNFing. But it was an intense race, especially in the final 60 laps. So will we see something like that in the final stage of this race today as well? It is not impossible. Emmett Stewart, welcome to the stream. BMNJ, welcome to the stream. He doesn't want to short pit too much here. It's not like Pocono, too. Pocono, the lap times were getting quicker over the course of the run for Ryan Blaney with the setup he had there, but here in this race, it's not the case. He gets quicker after about 10 laps, but once you hit that 20 lap mark, it just kind of starts to slowly fall off. He's faster than everybody else and not falling off as rapidly as everybody else. The tire fall off is there. And the lap time fall off is also with it. Trevor Grimes, welcome to the stream. Joey Logano in 10th place is about to go a lap down right now to his teammate, who has dominated stage 1. Lenny might be content with not even short pitting here. Doesn't want to be the last one on the racetrack either, just in case the caution were to come out. Want to give these other guys their track position back. We saw how hard it was to pass those opening dozen laps before Blaney got to the lead. Flying around the racetrack. Be patient behind Eric Jones in turn 2. And he almost drove into the grass. That's how low he was going down the backstretch there, trying to break the draft and swing on past Eric Jones. Put him a lap down in the 9th position. Unbelievable how big of a lead that is. Just went full throttle through turn 4. Race car's got a fair amount of grip for being this late in the run. Tyler Burbeck stated Keselowski's back in 28th. I think that could be a strategy call. He might have short pitted. And it will hurt him if a caution comes out, but if it works out, he could actually get himself into the top 5, or at least back in the top 10 again, if we stay green all the way through stage 1. Blaney's staying out another lap here. Go a handful of laps further. Bruce getting down into turn 1, passing Matt Benedetto. Not seeing that much tire wear, at least throughout the course of the run. Obviously, again, the car is on the looser side for Blaney, but right side tire is still in the 20s. They'll easily be able to make it the next 5 laps. I use strict yellows. The only time I use relaxed yellows is on road courses. It's because if there's a spin, there's a lot of open space, I guess, that they could go. That way it's not a caution fest race as well. Denny Hamlin in 5th. Is now about to go a lap down. A 40-second lead. Insane. These guys can go a few laps further on fuel. And now we have a caution. Well, that's going to change everything. Caution is out. Hamlin will get the free pass in 5th, and that has just trapped so many drivers a lap down. And that is our first caution of the race today, right at about lap 36. Well, I run a race with absolutely no... We tried that in NASCAR Heat 4, and there were some races, it was all right, because we also had, like, more accidents. There were some races it was hard to win, but there was other races where it was kind of boring throughout. So this is going to set up a restart late in stage number 1, and this now gives those top 4 a chance to win the stage, and we saw how fast they were at the very start of the race, so we'll see how this is going to work this time. Green flag back in the air. 12 laps to go, stage 1. Who's going to get the good restart? Blaney gets the jump. McLeod jumps down in 2nd place. Good restart for him. It's not as good as Blaney. The inside line was more preferred, especially at Indy. And now Alex Bowman will get underneath of B.J. McLeod in turn 2. McLeod gets a run in the draft off of Blaney's car. Down the back straightaway. Bowman trying to side draft Truex. Maybe he can make a move into turn 3 on the bottom of the track as well. And they're side by side for 2nd place again. So who will win stage 1? They'll be coming to 11 to go. They're up to speed now. Martin Truex Jr. underneath the 78 car for 3rd. And now makes a move underneath of Alex Bowman as well. So they're side by side for 2nd. That's what Blaney wants to see. Look at McLeod fanning out. Is he going to take it 3 wide into turn 1? Oh, and he does take it 3 wide into turn 1, and Blaney misses turn 1. And McLeod goes from 4th to 1st. Contact between the 19 as he shoves the 12 out of the way. More contact, 3 wide. Bowman, Blaney. Huge ground lost by the 12, and B.J. McLeod drives off with the lead. Side by side now for 3rd. Bowman to the outside. Blaney will give him the outside lane. Blaney would gladly take the bottom, and he keeps in front of him. Now can Martin Truex Jr. run down the 78 car. Blaney missed turn 1 as behind for 2nd place. They were 3 wide as B.J. McLeod made a gutsy move into turn 1. Not only made the pass, but with Blaney going wide, he was able to take the lead. And there is not many laps left to try and make it back up. Bowman got a little loose there. Now Blaney's caught back in traffic. That one little mistake. Very costly. Drafting the 78, or the 88 car rather, and they're 3 wide down the back. What a move. That was a huge run. Again, we have shown how good the straightaway speed is for Blaney. Austin Dillon in the top 10, currently in 8th. That late caution here in stage 1 has really proved perhaps costly for Ryan Blaney, as he had a huge lead, trying to keep it off Austin Dillon there as he ran a little tight in turn 1, trying to make the pass. Oh, contact! Tried to duck in line behind the 88, and I think Bowman might have been able to get around Dillon, but because of the contact, that slowed Bowman up as well. Blaney's got to gain that momentum back. And McLeod's got a pretty decent-sized gap over Martin Truex Jr. in 2nd. Bowman, who led a lot of laps early, handful of laps before McLeod took the lead from him earlier in the race, is trying to get back up there again. Passed a couple lap cars of Austin Dillon and Joey Logano. Blaney trying to side draft Austin Dillon there and stay alongside of him down the front straightaway. 8 laps to go is a long time around this 2.5-mile racetrack. Austin Dillon crosses over Blaney though. in turn one after Blaney had cleared him. Blaney trying to get the run here in turn two. And Dillon with the block. Blaney will go high down the straightaway to get a draft off Logano. Slicing and dicing through the lap traffic. He'll get by the 3. Teammate, the 22, will let him go. Kurt Busch in the free pass position in 6th right now. Austin Dillon and Logano trying to catch him as they battle for 7th in a huge pack of cars a little bit further back from 8th on back. Things are really spaced apart here between the top 3. Now that Bowman has cleared Kurt Busch down the back straightaway, Blaney's got a huge run into turn 3. About 198 miles an hour where he got into the braking zone. For the package change, these guys were going about 210 going off into turns 1 and 3. Busch hanging on that right rear corner panel. That's going to slow Blaney down. He couldn't clear him off of turn 4. Oh, a little contact there. Gotta be careful. Kurt gets a little loose, and Blaney got a little tight. Kurt Busch still stays in front of the 12. Time is very valuable, and it is being wasted right now with Blaney trying to get around the driver trying to stay in the free pass position. So a little side draft now will pull away from him down the back straightaway, and that's going to allow him to clear him going off into turn 3. He's got a draft off of Bowman. 5 laps to go in stage 1. And Blaney realizes he has to go. He led the most laps in stage 1. But he still might not win the stage. Big move into turn 2, but he couldn't clear Bowman. He tried. If he could have just cleared him, it would have been so hard for Bowman to cross him over, but he couldn't quite clear him. Bowman was right on that right rear corner panel. Blaney hard into turn 3. Now he clears Bowman. Took him an extra corner, but he got around him. Blaney has his eyes set on Martin Truex Jr. for second. He is about 3.5 seconds off the lead as they come to 4 laps to go in stage 1. McLeod trying to win his second stage of the year. Heck, if he does get a win, that's another playoff point. And again, I don't think he can make it into the top 16, but if he runs like he is today and like he did in the first Pocono race yesterday, he could come back if he can string a lot of top 10s together. He scored stage points in both stage points in both stages in the first race at Pocono yesterday as well. Blaney should get around Truex eventually here. How long is it going to take for him to get around him is going to be the question. Blaney is a little bit faster than the top 2 right now. I think Truex might be a little bit easier to pass than McLeod. 3 to go. Blaney for second. To the inside. Into turn 1. Slides it in there. Clears Truex though with the crossover. And he'll get right back around him. You've seen that a lot today. Look at the run in turn 2 Blaney got. Back to the inside, right on that left rear corner panel. Truex couldn't hold him clear. Blaney side drafting down the back. They're going to be neck and neck going off into turn 2 again. And again, Blaney with the clearance. And Truex is not going to be able to pull off a crossover this time. Joshua White, welcome to the stream. 2 laps to go, stage 1. A lot of ground, though. Still 2 seconds between the top 2. But Blaney has got the faster car. McLeod's got the clean air. There's no lap traffic anywhere in the vicinity after a late stage restart. And he's just not close enough to even get a draft off of McLeod yet. I think he's going to run out of time. He is pushing hard right now, but don't know if he's got enough time. He gained a lot in turn 3 there. If he can get in the draft down the back straightaway, that's where he's going to be able to gain the most ground. Taking the shortest way around here, being he's not in the draft, he's trying to do whatever he can. Into turn 1. Couldn't quite stick the bottom like he wanted to. Final lap now in stage 1. Blaney barely lifted in turn 2. McLeod's got a pretty big lead. Blaney got loose off of turn 2 that time. Still not quite in his draft. Blaney drove it in deep. Turn 3. How big of a run can he get? It is a long way off of turn 4 to the start-finish line. Blaney barely lifts in turn 4. In the draft of McLeod now, down the front straightaway. But he's just a little bit too far back, and BJ McLeod will win stage 1 at Indy. By about a car length and a half at the line, Blaney ran out of time. Another lap and he probably would have had him. He was just a little bit too far behind. After a missed entrance into turn 1, the second lap after the restart, giving McLeod the lead, and McLeod never looked back. He led every lap from that point on. So BJ McLeod will win stage number 1, receiving his second playoff point of the year, his second stage win of the season. We'll see who's going to win the race off pit road. More pit stops coming now. And just the one caution for incident at lap 36 in stage 1 as well. You see the look at the top 10 on the upper left-hand corner of the screen. Kurt Busch did get the free pass. Blaney actually lost the spot on pit road. Truex beat him out for second, and McLeod will win the race off pit road and restart from the lead. Green flag back in the air once again. Can BJ McLeod sweep the stages? Blaney already looking low. He got through the gears pretty well. Blaney trying to get underneath him. Side by side for the lead through the short chute. Truex did not take off in that outer lane right now. Blaney trying to hang in there as they are side by side for the lead and battling for the clean air down the back straightaway. Oh, contact. That hurt Blaney's car with the contact there, but McLeod still couldn't clear it. Blaney fighting hard, trying to drive it in deep in turn 4 now. And McLeod is still there and now clear. And Blaney files in line, trying to make sure he doesn't get shuffled out. Look at Denny Hamlin trying to go 3 wide for third. That's going to get tight going into turn 1 for third place. And Denny Hamlin with a great move to go from 5th to 3rd. So McLeod able to hold on to the lead on the restart. Blaney trying to make sure he doesn't lose as much track position this time. He's still in the draft of the 78 car. That's going to help. He seems to be a lot better in turns 3 and 4 than what he is in 1 and 2. Seems to be able to drive the car in a lot deeper in both turn 3 and turn 4. Turns 1 and 2, it seems like he's got to get out of the gas just a little bit more. Drafting, again, just playing a huge, huge factor. But it's going to be hard to pass the driver with the clean air. Tried to drive it in harder into turn 1. Just can't quite stick it as well. He saw that wider exit to turn 1. Trying to get a good run, though, through turn 2, and now we have a caution. Second caution of the race for incident. This one only took a couple laps after the restart to happen. And I don't believe that these guys can make it on fuel to the end of the stage. It looks like by the time we go green, they're going to be about 2 laps short. Going to stay out, try to keep the track position. This will restart BJ McLeod on the bottom, and Blaney's going to be on the top. But we haven't seen that top side work on the restarts yet. Saw Truex fade back to 4th, and even at one point on the the second to last restart, rather, we saw Alex Bowman in 2nd place. He fell back as well. Green flag back in the air, and McLeod will lead him to the green again. I think Hamlin's going to be waiting in the wings. We'll see what kind of adjustments he's made today. Oh, man, Blaney loose. Going from 3rd to 4th, going off into turn 1. And Blaney is going to clear BJ McLeod going into turn 2. The only driver to make the outside work on the restart up to this point. McLeod trying to hold the bottom, making sure that Denny Hamlin doesn't get a run on him. I think that 78 car is just the fastest of the bunch on the short runs. We'll see if Blaney can hold on. That clean air advantage is going to pay dividends. You saw what it was doing for McLeod there on that last restart at the beginning of the stage. BJ looks low off of turn 4. Blaney with a block. Way down low. Tried to break the draft down there as well. That's why he stayed on the inside. Hamlin still in 3rd. Bowman was able to get to 4th. Truex restarted in the 4th position, lost a spot on the restart. Serpentining action down the straightaways from the race leaders. Cloud keeps looking low off the exit of the corners too. Almost as if he's trying to make a move. BJ got through turn 1 a little bit better. Closes the gap again. He just can't get alongside of Blaney. If he can just get to that left rear corner panel, it's game over. Or even the right rear, depending on where he catches him. BJ seems to gain the most time going off into turn 1. He's hanging around. Everybody else is kind of faded back. Bowman did jump back up to 3rd. Hamlin is falling back to 5th. Truex is up to 4th again. Kurt Busch at 6th, also on the lead lap. We have 7 drivers on the lead lap right now. The 7th place car got the free pass under the last caution. And he decided to stay high this time. Down the front straightaway. back down to the bottom. See where that straightaway speed's coming in handy for Blaney. Just pulling him just a little bit down the back straightaway that time. McLeod was going down to the bottom at first, decided to kind of stop doing that. Truex up to third. He has gotten around Alex Bowman. Martin Truex Jr. about 2 seconds off the lead. Things starting to calm out here. Blaney is about a tenth of a second quicker than McLeod the last lap. This time at the start-finish line, it's going to be even quicker than that. It looks like he's going to gain about 2/10 of a second, make it 3. So, yeah, Blaney 3/10 of a second quicker that last lap on BJ McLeod. All because of one great restart by Ryan Blaney. And that was the battle you saw at the beginning of the stage. The first restart, the start stage 2, Blaney and McLeod were side by side for every bit of a lap, lap and a half before McLeod was able to hang on. And Blaney just couldn't get back around him. And then you saw Blaney on the outside on the next restart. Was able to beat McLeod into turn 2 and clear him off of turn 2. And McLeod was never able to get right back around Blaney. Yep, 2 drivers have DNF so far, Tyler. Not sure exactly who they are. I'll have to try and remember to check that if we get another caution or at the stage break, whatever comes first. See who those 2 drivers are. It's hard to tell going at full speed. And the front straightaway plus the pit wall in the way. Tell exactly who they might be. You see the 1 car right there. It's just so hard to tell. Five years ago today, Kyle Busch won his first championship. Yeah. 2015. No, I don't. I don't believe the Xfinity or the Truck Series are going to be changing the looks and the bodies of their cars. Yeah, usually the NASCAR season comes to an end this weekend. It was always the weekend before Thanksgiving or the weekend after for the longest time. This year it got done a little bit earlier. They scheduled that doubleheader at Pocono that condensed one weekend. I think they had one less off weekend as well. Oh, no, it was starting the Daytona 500 earlier. That's what it was. They started it the weekend after the Super Bowl. Kind of like they're doing this year. So those two things condense the week, and they're doing it again next year. Now, they also had 2 weeks off for the Summer Olympics, and obviously the Summer Olympics didn't happen this year in COVID, with us having to, with NASCAR having to reschedule some races. They postponed the Summer Olympics to next season, or for next year, 2021, so there's going to be 2 off weeks again. Once we don't have those 2 off weekends, so starting 2022, if we run the Daytona 500 the week after the Super Bowl again, and we keep a double-header race with Pocono in 2022, or really any track in 2022, to kind of condense a weekend, then you would take those 2 off weeks out. You're talking NASCAR ending the 3rd week of October. The weekend before Halloween, the NASCAR season would be over. And they could still get 36 race schedule in if they do that going forward beyond 2021. Because they'll get those 2 weekends back in August. So there would be no Summer Olympics. And obviously the Winter Olympics are held in late January, early February. But NASCAR's not on NBC that time of the year anyway, so that wouldn't affect anything with Fox's scheduling for the first half of the season. They should race every... Well, at that point, you'd be taxing the drivers if you're running 2 races a week every week. Like, yeah, they ran midweek races and this year, but they only had a couple of them. I think they only had 4 if you count the All-Star race. 5 midweek races if you count the All-Star race. But one of the midweek races they had off the following Sunday anyway was the week of the Kansas midweek race. And then 2 of the other midweek races they had at Darlington and Charlotte, they were at the same track the prior weekend anyway. So they didn't even have to travel. So they only had 2 midweek race weekends, 1 points race at Martinsville, and then 1 midweek race at Bristol for the All-Star race. Those were the only 2 midweek races where they actually had to travel to that track and then to another track the following weekend. So as far as like scheduling goes, it was a lot easier to run the midweek races this year because of that. Plus, TV ratings obviously is a huge factor of that too. The TV ratings weren't as good for midweek races compared to weekend races. Now me, personally, because there were no fans in attendance, and obviously it would hurt attendance once crowds go back to normal too if you ran a midweek race, but for me just watching a race, if I wasn't going to be able to go there in person, yeah, it was kind of fun, like getting home from work and watching a race on a Wednesday night. I'm not going to lie, it was, it made the workday a lot better because I was looking forward to the race. Cool, race is going to be on when I got off. So like a normal Wednesday throughout the course of the season, yeah, it might not work out that well. I'd be down for an all-star race middle of the week, though. Wasn't that their most rated midweek race? Of all the midweek races they ran, didn't it have the highest viewership when they ran the Bristol All-Star race? If they could run the All-Star race on a Wednesday night, that would also condense a week. Then you'd be talking NASCAR ending the 2nd week of October if they ran a midweek race for the All-Star. It's not a long race anyway, it's a condensed race as it is. Oh, look at the lap traffic going 3 wide there in turn 3. Blaney's got to take it 3 wide under them as well. Luckily they're slower for his sake, but Timmy Hill made one heck of a move on Ross Chastain. Oh, Blaney gets loose and saves it. What a save off of turn 4. Blaney kind of clipped. He didn't even exactly get down on the curbing, just kind of lost control. They were 3 wide into turn 4, and that was a large reason for him losing control, but he kept it off the wall, both on the inside, and then as he started to climb back up the track again, he saved it from hitting the outside wall, and now BJ McLeod's only half second behind him already, so all that ground that he had pulled away on McLeod is lost, but what a save. And that is why you don't want to go 3 wide at Indy. We have seen it happen a couple times today, and it's actually worked. But usually that's on the restarts when the tire grip is there. Tire grip was not there at that point in the run, and that did not work out at all. But somehow he kept it off of everybody else on top of keeping it off the wall. This car's still spotless. R6, welcome to the stream. These 5 lap cars are still packed together. Blaney does have a much faster car than BJ McLeod, but again, the lead is not there like it once was. The way that car was pointed off of turn 4 to the inside, that had DNF written all over it for Ryan Blaney. And again, when he corrected the car and came back across the track, luckily the only driver that was there was Chad Fincham, and he missed him. And then he kept it off the outside wall as well. Ooh, might have picked the wrong line there. Was trying to check up and the car got loose. Down the straightaway, and little contact with Ross Chastain, not much. Chastain kind of holding and blocking the bottom here. Blaney to the outside, barely got around both Chastain and David Reagan, and finally gets through that heavy lap traffic. And through that save, we somehow stayed green, too. He didn't completely loop the... Well, I guess he kind of looped the car around, but I think if the car would have actually been backwards, and now we get a caution. So now we've gotten a caution. We have some drivers pitting and some drivers staying out. Looks like BJ McLeod, Kurt Busch going to try staying out of the pits. 85 laps to go. This is our 3rd caution of the race. Going to have 81 laps to go when we go green. Ryan Blaney's going to hit pit road here from the lead. Truex, Hamlin, Kurt Busch will also hit pit road. Chase Elliott will get the free pass in 8th place. And the top 2 of Logano and McLeod decide to stay out and try to keep track position. They might be able to make it to the end of the stage on fuel with that caution, so that might be why they stayed out. Tough to tell for sure. Green flag back in the air. 21 laps to go in stage number 2. But those older tires I do not think are going to work out for Logano and McLeod. Blaney trying to get to the inside of BJ. Bowman, who restarted in 4th, quickly got to the bottom of the racetrack. Bowman looking to the inside of Blaney. Contact. Blaney goes up the track. Can't get down either. Truex is there. And not only Bowman gets to the lead, but Truex is going to get the 2nd. Blaney has to hop in line between Truex and Kurt Busch. Owen White, welcome to the stream. Yep, this is a 100% race. Do these full race live streams on the daily. Realistic broadcast. First of 2 of a doubleheader today. We run the Xfinity Series road course at Indianapolis after the conclusion of this one. We are just past halfway home. Or just at halfway now. Crossed flags in this race. And a battle for the lead. That strategy of staying out for both McLeod and Logano did not work out. Bowman with the clean air advantage, trying to hang on to the lead. Side by side for 4th between Denny Hamlin and Kurt Busch now. And Blaney is losing the top 2. If Truex can get alongside the 88, that could slow those top 2 cars down. And Hamlin out to the inside of Blaney. A little contact. Blaney washes up the track. Barely keeps it off the wall. More contact. Now he's in the wall again as he slides to pit road. We stay green. And now a black flag as it's a pit road speeding penalty. A speeding penalty for Ryan Blaney as he slid to pit road. There was contact. Hamlin made contact with the left rear, trying to make a pass for 3rd. That washed Blaney into the wall on corner exit very lately, but enough to lose control. back down the racetrack and made a good save again, but he had to slide onto pit road to do it. And this is likely going to put him a lap down with that 15-second penalty. So there he is, one lap down, Bowman in the lead, and that's going to cost Blaney likely any shot of winning the stage. As he comes back out onto the racing surface, now he has to race for the free pass position to the end of the stage, just to get back on the lead lap. Luckily, the stage break is coming. We know Blaney's got a fast car on the long run. He pitted for tires while he was down on pit road too. Granted, he's only got about 2 lap fresher tires than everybody else. That's not going to make a difference. Outside, of course, BJ McLeod and then Joey Logano as well. But they already stayed out under the last yellow anyway. He is in 8th place and in the free pass position after passing Ryan Preece, who's actually having a great day in the top 10 as well, up to 9th. But if we are to get a caution or get to the stage break first, whatever would happen, Blaney would get back on the lead lap at least, but he'd have to restart at the rear of the field versus up at the front with the leaders. So he's trying to hustle. He knows he's got a fast car on the long run. Can he catch Bowman to get back on the lead lap to the end of the stage so he can actually restart with everybody else at the beginning of the final stage? If he restarts at the back, that's going to be tough. We saw stage 1 only have 1 caution. We've had 2 of them in stage 2, but cautions are few and far between here today. Seen some crazy restarts. That one might have been the craziest. Kyle Button, welcome to the stream. Again, the final stage of this race is 60 laps. 50 and 50 in stage 1 and stage 2. So pretty similar in length. Everybody will have to make a pit stop in the final stage. Now, Joey Logano and BJ McLeod are going to be close on field at the end of this stage. They were about 2 laps short before that last caution came out. With running 4 caution laps, they should be about 2 laps to the good, if my guesstimations are correct. Roughly 2 laps to the good. They got to try and stay on the lead lap too, though. You know how fast that lead car is. And a lot of traffic back where Logano's at. McLeod was kind of ahead of the traffic. I think he'll be alright, but how much ground is Joey Logano losing? Yeah, I'd have to agree. The scenery of Watkins Glen itself, around the racetrack and at the racetrack in general, Watkins Glen is probably, I mean, that is so high speed too. It's just a fun road course for anything, but especially for stock cars, it fits really well with NASCAR. Wow, Blaney missed turn 3. A little bit of a moment. It's not been a clean drive here in stage 2. Yeah, I mean, the Indy road course, it's a good road course. Obviously, it worked with the Xfinity Series last year. Cup cars put on a good show, too, which we've seen them put on good shows on road courses a lot recently. At Watkins Glen and the Charlotte Roval. I don't think the Rovals had a bad race at all in the first 3 races there. Watkins Glen is pretty much since the car of tomorrow. Watkins Glen has put on some really good road course races, especially with the Gen 6 era. The Gen 6 era, Watkins Glen has not had a bad race since 2013. There's been some really good races there. Road America's scenery is beautiful. I would have to imagine, yeah, I haven't been to Wisconsin before, but that's one of the tracks that I'm highly considering going to. Mainly because of the tracks taken off the schedule next year and the fact Michigan's only got 1 race. Michigan being my home track. Indianapolis is the next closest track to me. That's 4 hours. The next closest track after that would be Road America, but that's, even though that's like 6 hours away, but that would be the next closest. Yeah, unfortunately I haven't been able to go out to Sonoma yet. The only road courses I've seen a race in person is Watkins Glen and the Charlotte Roval, both back in 2019. I'd definitely love to go. I'm likely going to Indy next year for sure for that road course race, and then maybe Road America as well, with that being the next closest track beyond that point. Blaney's gaining ground on Alex Bowman right now if he wants to get back on the lead lap. Bowman and the leaders are in lap traffic. Him and Truex likely battling it out for the lead. Truex is right on his back bumper off the restart at least. Ten laps to go, stage 2. Well, 9, I guess, to go, technically. 9 laps to go in stage 2. Jimmy Johnson's cracked the top 10. That's another thing, too. Yes, Blaney's in the free pass position, but if Blaney can get back on the lead lap before the end of the stage, then the race for the free pass is between Ryan Preece and Jimmy Johnson. Preece is about 2.5 seconds ahead of Johnson. Black Ace, welcome to the stream. Yep, Ace, you're just tuning in. We had an incident off of turn 4 on the last restart. Denny Hamlin made contact with Blaney in the left rear going into turn 4. Blaney got into the wall because of that contact on corner exit and slid into pit road. One of 2 great saves, but luckily, or I should say unfortunately, was sliding onto pit road. He was speeding, going well over the 55-mile-an-hour pit road speed limit. The fact that we made that narrow gap onto pit road, Indianapolis is probably one of the most narrow pit roads in all of NASCAR, especially with the pit wall right there. The fact that we slid into pit road without hitting the wall or the tire barrier is pretty impressive. But obviously speeding onto pit road, so we had a pit road speeding penalty there, and we haven't had a caution since. Is again being made up, but will Blaney have enough time to get to Bowman to get back on the lead lap before the end of stage 2? Likely going to be his best chance to do it. See you. Thanks for stopping by, Owen White. Rushed by Chris Buescher. There's Denny Hamlin in third. Made the contact with Ryan Blaney, which sent him to pit road. Blaney rushing by Hamlin. Again, in a hurry to try and catch Bowman before the end of the stage. Lap traffic has to be holding up both the 18 and the 19. Hamlin hasn't quite gotten to that lap traffic yet. 5 laps to go in stage 2. And there's Truex in second place. Blaney in his draft down the front straightaway. And Alex Bowman has got heavy lap traffic right around him. He's got about 3 cars within his vicinity. He's gotten around 2 of them, working on the third. Blaney is in position to still get stage points, being in the 8th position as well. That obviously helps. Also is by the back marker cars down the back straightaway. There's Bowman in the 88 trying to win stage 2. Remember, Bowman started on the pole. He's been in the top 5 pretty much all day. Couple laps to go at the line. 3 laps left to be exact. And Blaney back to the lead lap ahead of Bowman into turn 1. Rushing around both Matt Kenseth, William Byron as well. Bowman got caught behind his teammate Byron, and Blaney is back on the lead lap. And BJ McLeod did not make it. He is out of fuel. McLeod out of fuel at the end of the stage. And now you wonder, is Joey Logano going to be able to make it? And that will put McLeod a lap down now. But if he could stay in front of Priest, he can get back on the lead lap with the free pass. Which it looks like he can. BJ's about 16 seconds ahead of him. More cars coming to pit road here, so some of the lap cars may be staying out as well, trying to get the wave around, but not all the lead lap cars pitted. Joey Logano is in the pits. He's about 2 laps short on fuel as well. So that will put Blaney up to 5th place. Chase Elliott also out of fuel. He stayed out too. So those guys were just short on being able to make it to the end. And McLeod is in 6th place, which would be the free pass position ahead of both Logano and Elliott. Well, that's a couple more stage points for Blaney. And he's nowhere close to Kurt Busch right now. White flag in the air, 1 lap to go in stage number 2 for Alex Bowman. He's got a decent gap, a couple seconds over Martin Truex Jr. Bowman's just got 1 more lap car to get around here, but he's still, again, got a couple second gap to Truex. As long as he doesn't take too much time to get around him, Bowman should be able to win stage 2. Bowman still winless on the season. Trying to lock himself in the playoffs. After Matt Kenseth got the win in the second Pocono race yesterday, we've got 10 different winners on the season. So just 6 spots left open for the playoffs, and just 6 races to go until the playoffs after this one concludes today. Green, white, checkered flag in the air. Alex Bowman wins stage number 2. Blaney's got to circle all the way back around here to finish 5th. And then the stage would end because he's the last driver on the lead lap. Jackson Thomas, welcome to the stream. Kenseth trying to cross over Ryan Blaney. So the stage is going to come to an end. There might have been an accident somewhere, but it wouldn't have been a caution because Alex Bowman already took the green, white, checkered flag. It might have been because the 4th place car crossed the line. I'm not sure. But the caution is out. It looks like McLeod's actually going to take the wave around here. If Blaney stays out of the pits, Elliott, Logano, and McLeod are not going to take the wave around. So Blaney is going to stay out of the pits here. I have about 20 lap older tires, but he'll have the track position restarting in the lead. And by doing that, that traps Logano, Elliott, and McLeod gets the free pass. But Elliott, Logano will be held a lap down still. So that strategy did not work out for them. They were planning on everybody pitting at the end of the stage. Green flag back in the air. 3rd and final stage underway. And Blaney back in the lead. Gets a good restart through the gears. And everybody is still 1 pit stop to the end of this race. Blaney has the lead off of turn 2. Truex, Bowman side by side for second. Truex on the top, Bowman on the bottom as they go into turn 3. Blaney trying to hold strong with the clean air advantage. And Blaney will lead the opening lap of stage 3. Tell you what, by having 20 lap older tires, he needs to make sure he stays in the lead. He cannot afford to lose it. Truex almost got to that right rear corner panel. They get to that corner panel, I think Blaney's toast on those old tires. Bowman still can't quite clear the 19 car. Kind of like pack racing on this restart. And Truex is there. On the outside, Blaney tried to side draft him going off into turn number 4. Trying to do what he can right now, and he couldn't stay with him. Martin Truex Jr. to the lead for the first time today at Indy. Blaney hanging with a big run, though, into turn 1. Blaney to the inside. But on those old tires, he is not going to be able to grip up and even stay alongside the 19. Into turn 2, trying to hit his marks perfectly. Blaney's still in the draft of Truex. How much ground is he going to gain down the back straightaway? Quite a bit. As Blaney fans out into turn 3, looking for the lead again. On older tires, trying to hang on, and he couldn't clear him. Boy, he gave himself a shot. Bowman now with a run underneath Blaney. After the failed attempt to try and take the lead, Bowman will take over second. Diamond Jeff, welcome to the stream. So Martin Truex Jr. leads, Alex Bowman second, Blaney third, followed by Denny Hamlin and Kurt Busch, your top 5. And Chase Elliott is the first driver 1 lap down. And Blaney in the wall, up a turn 2. Contact with Hamlin back down the track. More positions lost. Blaney back to 5th now. And Bowman all over the back bumper of Truex for the lead. Kurt Busch dropping back. Did not want to go 3 wide in the middle. Going into the corner. They're single file now. He dropped back maybe a little too much. Just kind of gave Ryan Blaney the 4th spot back. Tell you what, Blaney is really hanging in there on older tires. Alex Bowman for the lead, side by side as he made the move in turn 2. And he's still alongside Truex down the back straightaway. Oh, contact! 12 into the back of the 11. Full throttle through turn 4 by Ryan Blaney. He is pushing that car right now. Now to the inside of Hamlin for 3rd. Caution. And Kurt Busch will hit pit road. So the caution will wave once again with 52 laps to go. It is now the 4th caution of the race today. And the first of the final stage. That's the problem with streaming this on my laptop too. The video, the actual counter for how many views doesn't pop up on my screen anymore while I'm playing, and it doesn't pop up as the comment counter either, unfortunately. So BJ McLeod decided to hit pit road as well there. Chase Elliott gets the free pass. He's back on the lead lap. So McLeod and Kurt Busch on fresher tires on the restart here. Those top 4 cars better hang on. 49 laps to go at Indianapolis. Kurt quickly to the inside of Blaney. Blaney trying to hold the outside as much as he can, but it's not going to work. McLeod's going to get under him now. And here we go down the back. Bowman leads. 3 wide. Oh, that's not going to work. 4 wide going off into turn 3. Oh my goodness, they made it. Kurt Busch gets sideways, and Busch goes around into the grass, back up across the field. Harvick gets collected. Kurt Busch is hard in the wall. And that will be the 5th caution of the race today. They were 4 wide going into turn 3, and that just did not work. Blaney tried to check up. Kurt Busch ran into the back of him, and around went Kurt Busch. Hard contact into the outside wall. And now we should have about 45 laps to go on the restart, still outside the pit window. Kurt about had it saved, but I think when he clipped the grass trying to make the save, that's what spun him back across the racetrack. And Harvick did get a piece of it. And we'll restart him up again. And Kurt Busch, actually, despite hitting the wall like he did, he does have some visible damage, but not as much as you would think. And the green flag back in the air again. I don't know how they were 4 wide going off into the corner. Bowman was in the lead ahead of the 4 wide battle there. McLeod restarts on the top. Bowman pulls up. It clears him immediately. Blaney pushes up the track. Can't quite clear Truex. And B.J. McLeod on fresh tires on the outside of Alex Bowman. And he will get to the lead. B.J. McLeod out in front in the Brickyard 400. Blaney going for third underneath Hamlin. He drove it in a little too deep into turn 4. Kurt Busch has fresher tires as well, despite the damage. It's going to allow him to kind of hang in there. Kurt Busch looking to the outside of Hamlin right now for position. He's going to get right on that right rear corner panel. That'll help him. Blaney stuck in line on the inside, right behind Denny. Can't get around him either. And they're closing in despite being side by side on Alex Bowman. Blaney to the inside, 3 wide. Hamlin backs out of the gas and lets him go. Blaney trying to use Bowman as a pick now to get by Kurt Busch. And Kurt has to duck in line now behind the 12 car and just follow him to get by Bowman on the inside. But he couldn't do it. And Bowman hangs on to second. Blaney going to take another shot into turn 1, trying to get the second place again. Can't clear him yet in turn 1. Bowman is hanging in there. Now into turn 2. And finally, Blaney clears him. Oh, Bowman scraped the wall off of turn 2. And that's going to fade him back now, and Kurt Busch should get up to third. Yeah, that's true. Indianapolis Road Course was 5 wide at, or no, wait, I don't know what I was thinking there. Was that in real life? That was on the last restart, wasn't it? Because he had some guys stay out on older tires on the restart. Oh, Kurt Busch into the back of Blaney again, and again! Kurt Busch is in the wall, clipped off of the 88 of Bowman. Blaney tries to save it. Caution will wave with 42 laps to go. And this is just outside the pit window, and Kurt Busch, for the second time, hits the wall hard, this time in turn 1. He just ran right in the back of Blaney. I'm not sure exactly why. He might have just overran the corner. Looks like Ryan Newman's going to stay out of the pits. He's also on the lead lap now with getting the free pass. Daniel Suarez will get the free pass in the 96. He's in 9th. It looks like Martin Truex Jr. and B.J. McLeod plan on staying out of the pits. Cautions breeding cautions late in this one, and Kurt Busch definitely had to hit pit road after that last one. Green flag back in the air, the top 3 on older tires. Everybody else on fresher tires behind them. It is a fuel mileage race for everybody that pitted if we do stay green to the end. That was our 6th caution of the race. 3 wide perhaps? No, Bowman thought about going 3 wide up the middle. Blaney's still hanging on the right rear of Newman. He'll get around him. That's going to hold up Elliott. Bowman, Kurt Busch going on the top. Blaney to the inside for second, down the back. This is starting to turn into Indianapolis 2017 all of a sudden. Where you saw so many cautions at the end of that race. McLeod out in front. He's on older tires, but he does have the clean air advantage, with Blaney and Bowman coming from behind. Big run into turn 1. Blaney for the lead. He's got to make quick work of him. Bowman is coming from behind. Bowman has a fast car on fresh tires, especially on a short run. And Blaney just can't get around the leader, and now here comes Bowman to the inside. Bowman going for second place. That's what McLeod wants to see back behind him. Blaney, Bowman, big run, 3 wide for the lead as they go into turn 3. Blaney up the middle, what a move. Bowman fights back on the bottom, he's not done yet. And Bowman charges to the lead. How did they make it through turn 3, going 3 wide for the lead and nobody gave an inch? Blaney trying to cross back over on Bowman. Bowman leads the lap at the line. The pole sitter and the winner in stage 2. Out in front, Blaney pulls back and clears him. Bowman again with a crossover in turn 1. McLeod hanging on. And now we'll see if Blaney can cross him over off of turn 2. Bowman got the power down there. But Blaney's got the draft down the back. The race is on for the Brickyard 400. Everyone wants to be a winner at Indianapolis. And Blaney now takes the lead again into turn 3. Can Bowman cross him over off of turn 4? He's not gonna. He ran a little bit wide. And he lost a little bit of time. Blaney hooked the bottom really well. And Ryan Blaney now back out in front at Indianapolis with 36 laps to go. What a race. BJ McLeod on older tires is still hanging on to third. Chase Elliott, who's been getting faster over the course of the race, is up to fourth. Hamlin in fifth. Truex fell back to sixth on the restart after restarting in second, but he is on older tires. Actually, that's Kurt Busch in sixth. Truex fell way back off the restart. So did Newman. Newman was on older tires as well. Bowman all over the back of Blaney off of turn 4, looking low. "35 laps left. Bowman is not done yet. They go off into turn 1. Blaney a little tight in turn 1. He couldn't get the car to turn, but he does hang on to the lead. Blaney trying to stay hooked to the bottom. He doesn't want Bowman to get around him. Bowman to the inside. Big block by Blaney off of turn 2. Hamlin now is up to third. He'll get around BJ McLeod and Chase Elliott in about a half a lap. And as the top 2 race for the lead hard, maybe that could allow Hamlin to close in. Bowman looks low off of turn 4. He is there. Blaney had no chance to block that time. And they're side by side for the lead. Bowman side drafting Blaney. 34 to go. They both drive it hard into turn 1. And Bowman had the advantage on the bottom. He'll take the lead. Blaney trying to maybe cross him over in turn 2. I think he beat him back to the gas. Oh, yes, he did. He's got a big run right back at him. In the draft again. Into turn 3, they'll be side by side. These guys are going at it. Blaney clear. Can Bowman get him back? Not that time, at least. Blaney drove it hard into turn 4. Really arced it off from the short chute to the entrance of turn 4. And another lead change. 33 to go. Blaney out in front again. BJ McLeod won stage 1. Stage 2 was won by Alex Bowman. McLeod has fallen outside the top 5 after restarting on older tires. It did not work out for him. Kurt Busch just got around him. McLeod sitting in 6th. Don't forget, though, despite the hard battling for the lead, this is a fuel mileage race. At the line, we've got 32 to go. And estimated fuel just went down to 32. These guys are going to be very close on fuel to the end of the race. Who can survive and make it? Who will not if it stays green to the end as we alternate through the different camera angles? We'll be doing that for the next couple dozen laps. I haven't done it yet today. It's been a good Brickyard 400. Trying to send Indianapolis Oval out in style with a great race, and it has been great up to this point. Pretty much since about midway through stage 2. Really the end of stage 1 when you saw Blaney trying to run down McLeod and rain out of time. From the end of stage 1 on, it has been a race. And a good one at that. Bowman losing time. He could be starting to save fuel. Blaney's not going to worry about saving fuel yet. Not until he has a bigger lead. Michael Turner, welcome to the stream. Don't see too many fuel mileage races with the stage racing arrow, but the caution came out at the right time. With 42 to go. That was our 6th caution of the race today. Fuel is right on the border right now. This car could very well be sputtering coming off of turn 4 on the final lap of the race. That is how close it is. Estimated. Of course, that isn't always accurate. Have to wait and see how this might pull off. McLeod got back up to 5th place and got back around Kurt Busch last lap. Despite being on older tires, 6.5 seconds off the race lead. Oh, Blaney loose in turn 2, he slides! And around he goes, he's facing backwards across the track, and that will be a caution. My goodness. Another great save by the 12 of Blaney today. That one will bring out a yellow. Just kind of drove it in too deep into turn 2. And luckily, he didn't get hit. And he's still in the race. Some guys are pitting, some guys are staying out. Varying strategies. The guys that will pit now can definitely make it on fuel. Everybody else, though, that is not pitting, still in fuel mileage situation. Green flag back in the air. Here we go again. Top 4 cars stayed out. Blaney won the race off pit road. 26 laps to go in the Brickyard 400. Our 7th caution of the race and our 4th of the final stage already. Cloud stuck on the top side. Blaney had a run on the bottom there. Truex kind of followed Blaney in there. He's back in this thing. Blaney up to 2nd. Bowman has the lead. Been tough on the short runs, went on fresh tires, but Blaney to the bottom into turn 3 will clear Alex Bowman, and the 12 is back out in front again. And Truex follows Blaney up to 2nd. Look at Daniel Suarez into the top 5 now. Blaney entered turn 1, had to burp the throttle, and Truex is on the inside and is going to take the lead. Blaney trying to cross him back over, can't get to the inside. And Truex is out in front at Indy. Blaney drove it in hard into turn 3. Hard into turn 4 as well. He's in the draft, but it's going to be hard to get around the leader. Blaney missed turn 2. That's not going to help. Truex is going to pull away from him. And that was not what Blaney needed, because now he's not even in the draft. I'm racing for third. Daniel Suarez has just moved up to third place. He has really come out of nowhere in this race today. Was a lap down for a while with all the cautions, was able to get the free pass and the track position back. And Suarez is now in the top 3 late at Indianapolis. We talked about an upset if BJ McLeod wins. What if Daniel Suarez can get up here? Problem is, the top 2 are not battling for the lead. Tight in turn 1 again. You just hear Blaney having to roll out of the throttle, and he can't get the car to turn in turn 2. BJ McLeod is on older tires and is in third place, fighting off Suarez and Newman behind him, who pitted under the last caution. That 78 car has speed. That is why he won stage 1. So led a few laps in the final stage as well. He seemed to be a little bit faster in turns 1 and 2 that last time. A lot of draft down the front straightaway. And now he's right in line behind him as he slides through turn 2 and loses a little bit of ground, trying to get a draft down the back straightaway now. Into turn 3, Blaney to the inside. He tries to outbrake Truex. That didn't work. But you got to try something. It's so hard to pass the race leader. Cloud's still 2 seconds off the lead, waiting for these two to make a mistake. Big run off of turn 4 for Blaney to the inside for the lead on Truex. Lead change at the line. 20 laps to go. Blaney out in front. What a move. Now can he hold it into turn 1? He does. Power move by Ryan Blaney. Back out in front at Indy once again. And now he's got the clean air. After DNF in the second Pocono race yesterday for Ryan Blaney, a big points day would be nice. Had top fives in the first two stages. Fifth in stage 2. Stage 1, he finished second. Not that far behind McLeod, who won the stage. Blaney's got about a 1 second lead on Mark Truex Jr. now. These tires and the car itself on the longer run is really starting to kick back in. Blaney wants to see this thing run caution-free to the end. But the story of the final stage, that just seems to not be the case. Everybody that stayed out of the pits, they're going to be better on fuel to make it to the end, but they still might not be able to make it. Oh, Blaney brushed the wall off of turn 1. Nice smooth laps is all Blaney needs if this thing stays green. That's another thing though with these restarts. He'll be fine if everybody stays out of the pits on the next restart, but if they pit and there's fresh tires lined up behind him, that is where he can really be in trouble. Just 16 laps to go. There's lap traffic coming up ahead, but Blaney has opened up the lead. McLeod is closing in on Mark Truex Jr. for second. BJ McLeod is only 1 second back of Truex. How is BJ holding in on older tires that well? It's insane. Ryan Newman in fourth, former winner of the Brickyard 400. Daniel Suarez with a great run in the top 5 as well. All hoping for late race restart to give themselves at least another chance. Again, if you're tuning in, our Indianapolis road course race is coming up after this. Now, the scheduled start time, I have it for 2:30. I thought this race was going to take a lot longer. By a lot, I thought it was going to take about another, half hour, 45 minutes to an hour. It did not. So I'll move the start time up for that race to where it's only about 15 to 20 minutes after the conclusion of this one. So we will be racing a doubleheader again today. Indianapolis Road Course will be next for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. But this one, maybe the bigger of the two races. Not only is it a cup race, but again, it's a crown jewel event. BJ McLeod got around Martin Truex Jr. that last lap for second place. Again, McLeod looking for a career day. It would be a career high finish if he can finish in the top 3. He finished 4th earlier in the race this season. Improving for that small team. He's also got a safe fuel to the end. We saw him on a similar strategy in Stage 2. And both he, Logano, and Elliott ran out of fuel with just a couple laps to go. Very similar strategy. We had 2 cautions in Stage 2. We've had 2 within their same pit window here in Stage 3. So very similar. They could be short on fuel. That is why I can definitely see them hitting pit road if we do get a caution. But I think with not that many laps left in the race, Blaney's going to have to stay out of the pits and keep the track position, restarting the lead. We have seen track position matter so much today, as usual, at Indianapolis, especially in NASCAR. Track position going to be a main factor in the road course race as well, just because of how hard it is to pass a leader in a road course race on any road course configuration. Nice leisurely 10-second lead. Remember, it was a late race, or late stage caution in Stage 1, where Blaney had a big lead, and BJ McLeod was able to take it away from him on the restart and win Stage number 1. Similar situation here, McLeod in second. Open for a caution late in the race. What a first career win it would be, not only for McLeod and underfunded equipment, but to win at Indianapolis of all places. Something I think that they don't even expect it would happen this year if they were to get a win at any racetrack. Seen a lot of great drivers within the sport of NASCAR win here. Names like Dale Earnhardt Sr., Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson, Tony Stewart. Those latter of the 3, all multi-time winners at this track. Dale Jarrett's won here a couple times. So the last caution in the second Pocono race come out yesterday with about 10 laps to go. We'll have 9 laps to go in this race this time by. Canadian Bacon, welcome to the stream. Eight laps to go. We'll go back to the normal camera now for the rest of this race. Second advantage. Truex still second behind McLeod. Maybe trying to use some lap traffic to help run him back down. Even though he has fresher tires, I think those tires have evened out by this point in the run anyway, and that's why you saw McLeod able to hang in there. But even McLeod was able to stay in third, despite the fact he restarted on older tires, which is just amazing in and of itself. Alex Bowman's back in the top 5. He just passed Daniel Suarez to move up to 5th. Bowman, stage 2 winner. He's been in the top 5 for most of the day. Also started on the pole. "17 seconds ahead now." Who will be the one to kiss the bricks at Indianapolis? We'll have just 5 laps to go this time by to the start-finish line. Blaney with a big lead, hoping that it stays caution-free the rest of the way. And that's another thing. If we go to overtime past the scheduled distance, we know some guys are close on fuel as it is and stayed out under the last caution that came out with less than 30 laps to go. They will be even at less of an advantage to try and make it to the end if we get another caution. We'd run past the scheduled limit now, scheduled distance. That could hurt him. Kurt Busch just went a lap down there. He has really faltered. He was one of the drivers that stayed out of the pits under the last caution. Still 3 more drivers that stayed out of the pits under the last yellow. This will be the second Crown Jewel win of the season for Ryan Blaney. Caution is out with 5 laps to go. And we are headed to overtime. Exactly what everybody but Ryan Blaney wanted. It doesn't look like anybody's going to hit pit road. Kurt Busch will get the free pass in 10th after just going a lap down there. Everybody's trying to keep their track position, so we are going to have overtime in the Brickyard 400. That is the 8th caution of the race. Nobody pitted. We'll see if they make it all the way back. Green flag back in the air. Who will kiss the bricks at Indy? We'll find out in 2 laps. McLeod trying to hang in there on the outside. Truex trying to get underneath him. Blaney with a great restart. Truex is now battling McLeod for 2nd place as they go off into turn 2. Bowman goes to the outside behind the 78 car to draft. They're side by side. Blaney's pulling away. With everybody not pitting there, as long as Blaney made it through turns 1 and 2, it seems like he's going to be all right. But will they stay green long enough to get back to the white flag? McLeod still stuck on the outside. Truex does have fresher tires on the bottom than what McLeod has. But McLeod looking for the career day. Off of turn 4, the white flag will be in the air. 1 lap to go for Ryan Blaney here at Indianapolis. The next flag will end the race. as they battle it for second still, side by side. They've been side by side every lap since, well, ever since the restart when they went into turn 1 the first time. Cloud hanging in as tough as he can on the outside, and they're still side by side down the back. Truex might have the nose out in front by the time they go into turn 3. Nope, it's McLeod. But no one could clear one another. Meanwhile, out in front, off of turn 4 one final time, Ryan Blaney is going to win the Brickyard 400 at Indianapolis. Bounce back performance after a DNF at Pocono. Ryan Blaney with the win. And could not tell who finished second at the line back there as they were side by side. Oh, jeez. Very narrow front stretch for the burnout here at Indianapolis. First career Brickyard 400. That engine is shot. An exciting race that came down to a couple of late race restarts in the final laps. Blaney did indeed, yes, came from a lap down after a pit road speeding penalty in stage 2 to win. And wild restarts and wild racing throughout. There was an interesting battle with about 30 to go, and they were 3 wide for the lead into turn 1, and Blaney went up the middle, and then Bowman got to the lead. They traded it back and forth. The second to last restart, you saw Truex and Blaney going back and forth for the lead again. An overall pretty good race. Truex by 6/1000ths of a second will bring it home in second behind Blaney by a nose out in front of McLeod, who still has a career best third place finish. Alex Bowman 4th, Denny Hamlin 5th, followed by Chase Elliott in 6th, Newman 7th, Daniel Suarez 8th, Kevin Harvick 9th, and Kurt Busch rounds out the top 10. Just 10 drivers finished on the lead lap today. And your DNFs, we had 4 of them: Joey Gase, Timmy Hill, John Hunter Nemechek, and Daniels. Let me rephrase that. Joey Gase, Timmy Hill, John Hunter Nemechek, and Bubba Wallace DNF'd in this race today. And that makes 4 that failed to finish. Yeah, I'm doing the points myself, so I'll have to add those in manually here. But Ryan Blaney wins the Brickyard 400. McLeod had the fastest lap with a 51.188. 82 laps led for Blaney today. He led just over half the race. 82 of the 160. Cole Custer finished 13th, started 27th. He was on the move in a tough break. Going to go to John Hunter Nemechek, who DNF'd early in the race after starting 21st. That is going to end it here today for this stream. We have one more for the doubleheader on a Sunday afternoon. We've got the Indianapolis Road Course for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. That will be coming up here within the next 10 to 15 minutes. I'll move the start time up for that stream. It was originally set for 2:30, but this race got done a lot quicker. Despite the fact we had 8 cautions, it still ran by with a fairly decent pace. So we will get that one started here shortly. Subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. Again, we do these full race live streams of the realistic broadcasts on the daily. I'll see you guys in a little bit here. Hit the like button down below for more, or if you enjoyed the race commentary, the video in general, over the course of this one. Great race again. Ryan Blaney wins the Brickyard 400, and we'll see you in a little bit. Thanks for watching, everybody.